All right, we are live and we are live, and guess what? We are live. Right, it has been too long. Oh my gosh, I gotta say that one more time. Y'all don't know the CEO of the Rich Team has been away from the live streams for such a long time. But alas, the stars have finally aligned just like it has aligned for this year being the richest year that has ever been since. As I said, everything has now come. All of the pieces on the chessboards have now come to pass. And alas, we're here with RichManZ wearing his cool merch here on there. So, with all seriousness, I want to welcome you to another live stream host. I am Richard. I am your savior. I am that light in that shining darkness. About to bring you again just another streams. And like I said, I'm someone who really loves doing these streams because it allows you to really work more naturally when you're speaking rather than going through those edits and always looking at those mistakes to correct. It makes you really speak freely. And I'm someone who really likes this type of freestyle. So like doing this is really, really type of where I really really work best. It's even now I was thinking of my what to say. So it's really nice when you kind of do it live and there. So first of all, I just want to say I hope everyone's doing well. Everyone's had a fantastic week. And the reason why I haven't been on live streams and even to like put it right there. Let me like halt right there. Let me take my time. I'm gonna get a sip. Smoking. This is actually the third time now I'm gonna be recording this. The first time I tried to do this, because y'all gonna know, is usually when I've done live streams in the past on my channel, I've always done it on my laptop. I've always done it on a desktop computer. This is one of the first times I've actually done it on a cellular phone. So it's been very difficult trying to get the settings to make it right. So the first time I tried to record, there was no sound. And the second time I tried to record, I believe I was having problems when I pressed the green screen. But again, one thing you will know, especially what I'm going to talk about these videos, is that we fall down to pick ourselves back up. And I said many, many times that last year, 2024, was certainly not my year. I had to really fall down, is how they say in Creole. I had to really fall down to rise and come back and claim this year, because this year is not only going to belong to me, but it's going to belong to all of you diehard Rich Team fans, diehard Rich fans. Yes, right. So in all seriousness, as I go back to the point I talked about, like live streams in there, I was someone in the past who used to really do live streams because, as I said, I always consider myself a freestyle. I like to really think off the top of my head, and I was doing them a lot, especially during the time when the pandemic was there and we didn't have really too much to do. So that's why I started to go online, to go onto my channel and start to do live stream after live stream. And just like anything, and this is the word, this is the vocabulary for this year, is consistency. Consistency really guarantees success, and keep on persevering, keep on practicing, and you will definitely get better and master your craft. The only reason I stopped with live streams for a while, because if anyone has been following my channel, I've been doing a lot of work. Like the hustle and the grind is truly real. So this is one of the first times this year that I've had really like a Sunday off. If I'm not like doing videos, I'm thinking of new ideas, like I'm making merch, I'm doing my other projects outside. So it's always been a constant grind, especially for this year. But I can't complain, to be honest. Especially now celebrating my second year in Canada, this has really been the success. As I say, success is just a sniff away. This has definitely been like one of the best times currently that since I've been in Canada. Things have really been moving forward, and just have to maintain that focus. It always helps when you got that motivation, and especially when you got like-minded people around you, which brings me on to, of course, GQ Jamal, the CEO of GQ TV. Holla at your boy. Yeah, so GQ Jamal, who he did a video on yours truly, and yeah, I mean, he was able to get some of the merch that you see I'm presenting here. That's my dude. That's my guy, man. It's funny. We started around the time like I just moved to Mexico. Once I left England and I went to Mexico, didn't know no one, didn't speak the language, didn't know the culture, nothing. I went there, and those first like months there, it were very challenging. So like when I remember when he commented on one of my videos, and I remember I went onto his channel, and I was like, oh, that's nice. He loves retrospective. He's a '90s guy, just like me. He does movies, TV reviews, music is similar. I was like, God works in mysterious ways. So I remember we started collaborating very soon after when we started speaking. I started like gaining contact, and from there to now, like we got a podcast. Like he's about to get 1,000 subs, just like I'm about to get 10K subs soon. As I said, of course, you can do help us both by like, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. But it's just so amazing seeing the trajectory from both of us, because like when we first connected, we didn't know like each other. We didn't know where it was going to take us to now. And it just shows that you can find people who are very similar to you, and they don't have to be in your town or your country or your city. There are people who you can vibe with, who can be, again, just outside of your zone. You understand? Outside, and I talk about this, stepping outside of your comfort zone. So, as I said, all the best. I want every member of the Rich team to go out and subscribe to GQ Jamal. Let's get him that 1,000K. And we're gonna start, well, for sure. Once we get down, we're gonna do season 3 of the Retro Brothers. It would be so cool. This would be my dream. Rich team out there is like, let's really make this year prosperous. Let's do like a live studio recording of Retro Brothers podcast. I know that's what all y'all are waiting for. Yes, but big shouts to GQ Jamal. So, with that being said, the topic of this video, as you can see on the thumbnail, is Michael B. Jordan. Right. So, I gotta get a sip for this. So, if anyone, I guess, if I'm saying, if the people have been following my videos know that I'm a huge fan of Michael B. Jordan. When it comes to like the top actors, especially like the A-list actors, like back in the day, I was of course big fans of Denzel, Will Smith, Johnny Depp. If you go way back, Jack Nicholson. But seeing Michael B. Jordan like claim that A-list actor spot has been totally tremendous. And why I really resonate a lot with Michael B. Jordan is, just like him, I'm sure that he was someone who had to overcome adversity, overcome being told like, no, you're not ready yet. We're gonna go with Zac Efron. Like, I'm sure the door was like closed to him for a while, and many times he had to deal with rejection, like we all have to do. But seeing him really overcome that, and remembering like this was the dude who was Johnny Storm in that, God forbid, Fantastic Four film, which I believe for some actors could like really just like destroy their career. But he was able to overcome that. And I remember 2018, and that's where things really started to rise up for him. He starred back to back in the Black Panther film with Ryan Coogler, like that great director and actor duo. And then then he was in Creed, of course, with Ryan Coogler again. So it just goes to show that there could be some actors, because when you see Michael B. Jordan, one of the things I really love him is that insatiable hunger. There's actors who, when they do get to like possibly like that, if they have a movie that is shown around the world, like say, like I mentioned, Fantastic Four, they'll just kind of call it a day, and you will never hear from them. But Michael B. Jordan has that ambition, like that ambition that sometimes you can't really teach someone to do, way beyond that. Possibly people had limitations on him, as a lot of people have seen. When he was in high school, when he was on the come up, those classmates who were with him, they basically consider him corny. He's always had the label as he's a nice guy because he's not the stereotypical black guy. He doesn't have a fuckish bone in his body, just like yours truly. So, especially for a lot of like African Americans, and you say like black people who were born outside of the motherland, the stereotype is real. Like most of y'all just want to either be like a sports professional athlete or your latest rapper. If you're not that, sometimes like to really make, especially in the acting genre, which is pretty white dominated, to get to the top is sometimes unheard of. And as I mentioned, the only ones who really did it before him was Denzel and Will Smith. Yeah, you could go back and say Sidney Poitier was there, but they why I mentioned Denzel and Will Smith, they didn't. Denzel and Will Smith had that gravitas of really going more international based than maybe Sidney Poitier, who was at a different time, of course. Like when I mentioned them two, is they have the look, they have the success. I mean, like the numbers don't lie. The people who go to see a Will Smith or Denzel movies, as now Michael B. Jordan has now fell into that category. Yeah, so it's really, like I said, it's inspirational seeing a guy who was, because the first time I ever saw Michael B. Jordan was in The Wire. I was watching it because, again, when I was back in London, England, where the rich man is originally from, well, not originally from, I'm from Sierra Leone, but that's where I was born and raised there. Idris Elba was really starting to move up the ranks with the series The Wire. And Michael B. Jordan appeared in a couple of, let's say, maybe a couple, 4 to 5 episodes, and then they killed off his character. That was the first time I ever saw them. This was possibly about maybe 15 years ago. I was studying in university at that time. And to see that kid now going to Hollywood royalty, I'm not saying like you know, if we be real, like everyone has their dreams and everyone has their like goals that they want to achieve. And sometimes you'll say, like, well, if someone can do it, I can also do it too. But the difference is, and Michael B. Jordan said this on one of his motivational, he was talking about like the winners, the difference between the winners and losers. And it's like the winners really who will go for adversity, who go for obstacle, who will go for rejection 10,000 times, they will always find a way to get up. They will really endure the pain, and they'll find a way to turn that no into a yes. And it's not, and they won't really need to compromise because they've already been through the struggle. And I can someone who can speak about this a lot, to be honest. Like I said, like I've now been here a couple years now in Canada, and even before that I was in Mexico. And even when I'm talking about even my channel and doing videos, I've been doing videos since about 2015. My first video on YouTube was 2015, and then I really started taking it seriously during the COVID era. So we're talking like 5 to 10 years of busting my ass, grinding, getting told no, we're gonna go follow this person. You suck. Like you hear all these things, and it can really deter you if you allow it to happen. And to be honest, seeing Michael B. Jordan on as that picture I got of a loyal rich team member of mine, he took that photo when I was in the Indigo bookstore, and I saw Michael B. Jordan on the front page of GQ magazine. This is a magazine I was reading back in the day when Will Smith and Denzel Washington was there. Now it's his time, and he's on that magazine. And I'm just looking like this was the skinny black kid, just like I was a skinny black kid on in The Wire. And now he transformed himself into a leading bona fide box office star. I just got a message. Okay, going away. Yes, a bona fide Hollywood star. Now he's making all these women's panties wet. Great, crazy. Yeah, I understand. So I mean, the moral of the story is when you see guys like him, as I said, I believe some people are built this way. Some people, like I said, when the going gets tough, I mean the tough, not all the ones can stay. The going gets tough, tough gets going. I'm sure that saying sounds like that, but some people are not able to stand through the difficult times. Challenges are going to come, especially for guys in this age, in this generation. Is very tough. I mean, to really make it, even with all of course, the access of like the social media and all of the ways you can make it, there has to be a serious. And I say this for anyone who's looking to really make, is really looking to transition themselves and make become the best version of themselves. Is consistency. If I tell you how many days, like I finished my main job and I've had to come home and edit videos, do the recordings, find a cool thumbnail, cut a video to maybe it's only 30 seconds, but it probably took maybe 2 hours to edit it. Sometimes staying up to 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning just to really perfect this creative content idea. Like I said, and that's not me just like complaining or putting sour grapes. It's just what it is. You understand? And I believe once you're about that life and you're willing to go through that journey and like not waste time bitching and just look to always improve yourself, to make yourself better, to make yourself smarter and stronger, you will make it. You understand? But like I said, it's not for everyone. Like I said, I know Michael B. Jordan is someone who had to go for some serious adversity, but he didn't waste time complaining. He just took control of his motherfucking life. And this is some real talk for like anyone who's like really watching this. You really for a man out here, man, you really just gotta take control of that life, because once the life is done, man, I don't believe there's another replay through. It's it. So on your time here, you gotta make sure you're making your time count and you're doing the best to make sure you achieve the greatest you possibly can do. And when I see Michael B. Jordan on that GQ magazine, from where I remembered him before, bro, that gives me the biggest confidence to move as high as I wanna fucking go in life. You understand? So big shout out to him. As I said, I would love to get your feedback. What you feel about Michael B. Jordan? I did watch the Sinners film. I was on the middle row about a couple weeks ago. I believe it was in the Easter break, and I loved it. When you see Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan now working together, these are just creating magic. And for a movie that was basically meant to be a terror movie, and they blended a lot of like the historical aspect of how Black people have come through, it was a nice touch of excellence in there, and that's a must recommended film. It's possibly the best film I've seen in a long time to cinemas. Like I'm pretty much exhausted with this whole superhero films now. Like it's nice to see something different. But yeah, so folks, yeah, that's my thoughts on just like Michael B. Jordan. Let me get a sip. So yeah, so folks, yeah, that's my thoughts on like Michael B. Jordan's like success and his trajectory. Again, I'm a huge big fan, not even just for him, but even for Ryan Coogler, what they've been able to do in cinema. And I'm just encouraging more people to really. It's okay to say like I'm gonna go after your dreams, but you gotta do it. I used to say the saying all the time: don't just say it, just do it. Just like the Nike logo. So you gotta make your shit happen, and sometimes you ain't gonna. There's not gonna be someone to save you. You gotta just really just like man the fuck up and get it done. So that being said, folks, let me know what you thought about Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler, the Sinners movie. As I said, Richie Rich has his own merch, and you can definitely, if you are interested in this, you can message me on Instagram. You can email me on. You can send a message to my email address. All of my links are on my main page. And yeah, definitely stay tuned, because this is going to be a busy summer. I got a lot more content. Really appreciating the comments I'm getting. As I said, 10K is just over the horizon. Yes, 10K is just over the horizon. And That's it. And I don't have my watch now, but my calculation is possibly just coming towards 9:35. What are you waiting for, folks? Get your paper right and update your wallet.